with that being said, again, he should be in prison. Let's move on to a commenter, George Yarborough.
Dun, dun, dun.
Much love, man. Listen, you can have opposing views to come in our comment section and be derogatory, and then try to take the soapbox and say that you're the classy one, even though we simply just said the updated scores of what your prediction was, and then come cussing and calling people the R word and, everything else underneath the sun, and then try to take them.
And then deleting some of the comments after you were called out about it.
Yeah, we have the screenshots of the comments. You're not going to – it is what it is, man. You said the Cowboys. Let's break this down. You said that Cowboys have the highest point differential in the NFL. That is no longer true after the Eagles beat the Giants. So, check. The Eagles have it by a wide margin now. It's not even close. I believe let me pull it up. The point differential now for the Eagles is plus 146, making it the Eagles the best point differential in the league by like 10 points. So let's settle this debate, Taylor. Eagles versus Cowboys, since people want to really get into the meat and potatoes, and we're going to keep using that because Thanksgiving was right on, in the past, and Christmas is coming up. So, the Eagles are first in the NFL in points per game at 29.7. They're first in turnover differential with a plus negative 14. They're second in rushing yards per game, 162. Average second in red zone efficiency in 73. Third in total offense. Third and fourth down efficiency, and fourth in the league in third down efficiency. They have 178.5 passing yards per game allowed on defense, which is first in the league. So they have the best passing defense. 296.4 total yards per game allowed, which is second in the league. 42 sacks in the on the season, which is second in the league, and 18.8 points per game allowed, which is tied for seventh. The Cowboys have the fifth-ranked defense and the third-ranked offense. Go ahead, Taylor.
I'm once again taking the Eagles over the Cowboys. The Cowboys this past weekend struggled against the worst team in the NFL. Without a doubt, the worst team in the NFL. I think it came down to the very last seconds in the game where the Cowboys won by a touchdown. Actually, less than a touchdown. So by one score. So that brings the Cowboys season to losing to a 6-6 Bucks at the time of this past week, a 4-6 Packers team, they struggled against a 1-11-1 Texans team, who's the worst team in the NFL, and lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. And now I know everybody's going to say, well, we didn't have Dak Prescott. Well, if you're the best team in the NFC, you should have a squad that's able to perform when your quarterback is not there. And if you can't perform when your quarterback's not there, then you are not the best team in the NFC. That is a fact. If you are the best team, you are the best whenever you have your starters or your second stringers on the field. That's just the way football goes. That's how you determine who's a better team. You guys lost the game. That's a fact. Now, the other thing that was brought up is that the Eagles have the easiest season out there. Their schedule is just a cupcake. It's a walk in the park. The Cowboys have it so much worse. Not the case, actually, whenever you go and actually look at the statistics. The Eagles are listed as having the 19th hardest schedule this year. So you would think these Cowboys fans that are saying, oh, well, they have a cupcake schedule, blah, blah, blah. You would think that the Cowboys are sitting right there at the fifth hardest schedule this season, right? I think we could all agree that that's what the Cowboys fans make it seem to be. You would be wrong. The Cowboys are at 18. Here's 19. Here's 18. Right next to each other. And the difference between the schedules is 0.008. That's the difference between the schedules. And that was updated this past week. So that's taken into account for who you've played and who you're going to play. So this whole argument of, oh, they have the easy schedule, blah, 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 it doesn't work anymore. You guys are pretty much at this exact same, yet the Eagles only have one loss, and they struggled to one team who was playing pretty good football that day. I mean, it's Sunday. Any given Sunday, bad teams can play good football. And if you want to deny that, please explain to me what happened with the Texans. Because if you guys are such a great football team, why did you struggle against the worst football team with only one win on the season? And then now 11 losses on the season. How do you struggle against a team like that if you were the
They
best
like to
team?
bring up the Colts game and how the Eagles won by one, and the Cowboys absolutely dominated apparently, but the Cowboys did not dominate. Let us remind you, the Cowboys did not dominate that game. It was 21-17 until like the last 10 minutes of the fourth quarter.
And if you want to talk about dominating, I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the Eagles dominated the Giants, correct?
Yeah, which is a better team than the Texans.
The Giants, at one point this season, were 7-1. They were Super Bowl favorites. Everybody was saying that the Giants have turned it around, and they're still a good team. And the Eagles walked all over them. A lot of people say that the Titans at the beginning of the season were Super Bowl favorites. They are not a bad team. They have arguably one of the best running backs in the game right now. But guess what? 2 weeks ago, the Eagles ran all over them. And everybody's like, oh, it wasn't a beatdown. It was a beatdown. It was 2 games in a row that the Eagles game was taken off of TV because it wasn't competitive enough and transferred to another game. And you want to know what game they transferred over to this time?
The Cowboys.
You guessed it, the Cowboys, losing to the Texans at the time. So for everybody coming into the comments saying that the Cowboys are the best team in the NFC and that the Eagles are fakes, pretenders, whatever, false. It's over. It's a wrap. It was proven this past weekend that the Eagles are better than the Cowboys. Cowboys struggled against the Texans. They have 3 losses on the season. The schedules are pretty much the exact same, yet the Eagles are winning out. They got 1 loss. They've already made the playoffs, and guess who hasn't? The Cowboys. So therein lies your answer. The Eagles are better.
And here, I want to point this out, all right? And I'm not trying to come from a bias thing. The Eagles could lose to the Cowboys on the 24th, Christmas Eve. And still, they would have the number 1 seed in the playoffs.
Yes.
So, all they have to do, they have to win 3 games out of their last remaining games. So they could lose to the Cowboys. They're going to probably beat the Bears. Not going to sleep on the Bears, but they could beat the Bears. They have the Giants again, which we saw how that happened. They had the Commanders again, the Cowboys, and the Saints. So they're going to beat the Saints. Probably going to beat the Bears. And they're definitely going to beat the Giants and the Commanders. So they can, if they wanted to, they could just relax their players. They're not going to on Christmas Eve. And mind you, the one loss they have this year to the Commanders didn't really dominate the Eagles. It was because of a couple turnovers. Jalen Hurts threw a pick. There's a couple fumbles. And honestly, if Quez Watkins on that 50-yard bomb didn't fumble when he got back up, the Eagles would have had the lead, and it would have been over. The Eagles would be sitting at 13-0 right now. If you look at quarterback play, well, Dak's better. All I hear is Dak's better than Jalen. Dak's better than Jalen. Even though Jalen's having an MVP season, Dak's better than Jalen. Dak Prescott, since coming back, he's 14-9. He has a 52 QBR, and his career average QBR is 70%. So he's having a bad year. If you can't admit that he's down almost 20% on his QBR this year. Well, he was hurt. Cool. Your backup won 4 out of the 5 games he started. It's not an excuse. Going 4-1 or going 5-1, 5-2, whatever, because Dak Prescott lost the opening game this year. So going 5-2 isn't a bad start to the year to where Dak Prescott should be able to come in and at least finish it out. Yes, I think they have 1 loss. One more loss on that, so they have 3 losses total.
Yep.
But again, 14-9. You want to know Jalen Hurts' season? He has 3,000 passing yards, which is 10th in the NFL. He's 22-3 touchdown to interception ratio, which is 1st in the NFL. He has a 70 QBR, which is 4th in the NFL, on top of almost 700 rushing yards and 10 TDs. And he hasn't thrown an interception since week 10. Guys, we're in week 15 right now, going on week 6. We're going on week 15 now. So that's 5 games he hasn't thrown a pick. Can't say the same thing about Dak Prescott. So when it comes down to the Cowboys versus the Eagles this year, to be honest, since 2000, I mean, the Cowboys fans are gonna hate me, but I'm gonna be the opposite of Skip Bayless, right? Skip Bayless nut hugs the Cowboys, or I'm gonna nut hug the Eagles here. Since 2000, the Eagles have been the better team than the Cowboys, and you cannot deny that. We have 4 playoff appearance wins compared to the Cowboys 1. Since 2012, 5 NFC championships, or 4 NFC championships, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl win. You've been irrelevant for 27 years. So, you can come at me all you want. Taylor is going to back it up too. The Cowboys are not the team you think they are. And if they get to the playoffs, there's a good chance they get bounced out week 1 in the wild card round regardless, because they're going to have to play a playoff Tom Brady. Right now they're projected to play a playoff Tom Brady with Mike Evans and company, which even though the Bucs aren't great this year, Tom Brady's kind of flipped the switch, and everyone knows Tom Brady in the playoffs is way different than Tom Brady in the regular season. So, just be prepared. That's all I'm saying. With that being said, continue to comment on our YouTube videos. We love to respond and react to them in a nice, normal way. This is more of coming off of a more obviously aggressive style than me and Taylor normally like to respond. We do normally like to respond with a more of an engaging, classy, more formal, intellectual debate. And if we don't agree, that's fine. It's whatever. But to come into the comment section and say we're not knowledgeable on the game, call us this, that, and the third, and being disrespectful, we're going to call you out. We're going to call a spade a spade. Me and Taylor the same way as men outside of the show, in that aspect, we'll always call a spade no matter where we're at in life, whether it's the show or in just regular day-to-day life.